Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are going to take a look at one of the brand new Schleich figures, and in my opinion this is the best of all. I'm going to start out strong as far as the Schleich releases, and we are going to take a look at the Kaprosuchus. In my opinion, without question, the best of the new releases. Overall, when it comes to both sculpt, paint, everything on this figure looks really good. It looked great in the promotional images. It definitely looks good here in person on the factory released version, and I'm really psyched to have it here now to take a look at with you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get a closer look right now. So starting up here at the head sculpt of the Kaprosuchus, you can see some absolutely gorgeous scale detail that is included up here on the head sculpt. Really nicely done overall, and there's a really nice kind of a dark green wash that's been included. Some areas, like right here, it kind of looks like it's a dark green. Other areas it looks more like a dark black, but the dark wash really helps to make all the detail pop quite nicely, very realistically on the head sculpt of the Kaprosuchus. You can see the nostrils are sculpted out up here on the tip of the snout, beautifully elaborated with a darker coloration. You can also see the eyes are painted really nicely with a yellow and a nice black slit-like pupil. Same deal over here on the opposing side. There is some really nice color variation here up on the face, as well as you have kind of a few different variations of yellows, kind of like lighter and darker variations of yellows, some nice browns, and even an alternate shade of brown right there in the snout. So as far as the color variation goes, I feel like the head sculpt is really nice looking, really appealing. And all of the actual application of the paint is really nicely applied. You can see the teeth are pretty much your standard trademark teeth as far as Schleich goes, as they're kind of big and bulky, but I actually don't think they look too bad on the figure overall. I feel like they look fairly decent. They're very kind of a bright white, and you can see the inside of the mouth as well. Sports some actually really nice detail right there. You can see it probably better right there as the light shines on it a little bit. As far as the inside of the mouth, really nice realistic coloration in there as well, and you can see the inside of the mouth from this area. It includes a nice dark wash as well, so it helps to make all the detail pop pretty nicely within the mouth of this Kaprosuchus. The jaw is articulated and works really smoothly, so you can see that although it's a little hard to get a hold of at times, you can see that no matter where you want to position the jaw, it actually works really, really nicely. The underside of the figure also sports some really, really beautiful scale detail, and just generally like some movement within the figure is kind of shown as far as like the structure and the waviness of the underside of the Kaprosuchus, and again that dark wash brings that detail up beautifully. As we lead back here into the body, you can continue to see that really beautiful scale detail, and you can also see some nice smooth transitions between those browns, the lighter and darker browns, more like a yellowish brown here on the side, which I really like that coloration here on the figure. And again, the transition between those colors is really beautiful, and you can see that nice darker brown up here, as well as kind of like some really dark mixtures of dark blacks and browns up here on the top of the figure. Beautiful armored-like appearance to the top of the Kaprosuchus, which again is pretty much exactly what we would expect to see. And there's a really nice mixture of kind of like stripes of that dark black and then stripes of the kind of darker brown. So as far as the coloration goes, it's really quite nice looking. Looking down here at the front leg, you could see some nice creasing going on right here, especially right in this general area, kind of in like the armpit of the Kaprosuchus. And then coming down here, you could see some more gorgeous detailing on the leg sculpt as far as the scale detail and everything goes. The nails are painted with a white similar to what we see on the teeth. That nice dark wash continues to bring the detail up beautifully. You kind of have some like ridges back here on the back of the leg, which are painted with a very nice dark brown. And then moving back up into the stomach region, you can see it lighten a little bit here in the center of the stomach. Again, that dark wash is making all those scales pop beautifully. Some more of the armored area of the Kaprosuchus. Everything looks really good there. Coming back here into the rear leg, you can again see how nice the scale detail is as we run down that leg, as well as the coloration. There are some really nice tones of yellows and browns included on this figure, and it looks great and really nice and natural, I think. Another nice looking foot sculpt back here. Again, the nails are painted with that kind of a brighter white. I'm not a huge fan of the white nails, but that's a very minor nitpick. And then moving back here to the tail, you can continue to see how beautiful that detailing looks. You get that very large scale like effect back here. Same deal here on the underside actually. And you can even see a cloaca, which is pretty shocking. You don't see that too often from Schleich, which I think is a really nice touch on their part. But beautiful curves to the tail, very nice and elegant looking as far as the curvatures in the tail. You can see right there, get a good idea of what the curve looks like. Very realistic as far as what I would, expect to see on a Kaprosuchus if it were walking in the way that the tail could potentially curve and bend. Really nice coloration as we move out the length of the tail as well. Looking at the opposing side, the head is looking ever so slightly to the left, so you can kind of see like a little bit more of the skin stretching on this side as opposed to the slight bunching up of the skin on the previous side. The head sculpt up here actually looks really nice as well, which we didn't really look at that area just now, but really beautiful as far as that goes. There is a kind of a pretty big seam right here where the lower jaw connects. So once you actually have the jaw open, it's not so noticeable, but once the lower jaw is closed, you can pick up on that as the neck now looks quite a bit thicker than it does right here. So just a little bit of a downside as far as that goes, but again, I don't think it's anything too terrible. Some more beautiful creasing again in the skin, just generally some movement shown, a little bit of like saggy skin here in the throat. The leg sculpt here in the front looks really good yet again, and you can see the foot sculpt again with those kind of brighter nails. Very nice ridges here on the back, just like we had seen on the previous side. Coming up into the stomach, you can see the stomach a little better over here due to the legs kind of being further apart on this side, so it's kind of opening up the entire stomach region for us to check out. And you can see how beautiful that scale detail looks over here and all the really nice variations of color included. Again, you have that kind of armored-like look to the top of the Kaprosuchus. Very nice leg sculpt back here on the rear leg. Again, the nails are painted with that brighter coloration. You do have the ridges here on the rear legs as well, just like we have on the front. And then we move out the length of the tail on this side yet again, and it looks beautiful over here as well. So this Kaprosuchus, in my opinion, is definitely a nice figure, and also most definitely my favorite. So as far as a size goes on our Kaprosuchus, for a length, you are looking at about the 8.5 inch range, or around 22 centimeters. And then for a height, the highest point would probably be the tip of the snout, about 3 inches, or around 7.5 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line, next to our beautiful Schleich Kaprosuchus. And you can see next to these figures right here, again, the overall size of the Kaprosuchus. It is a really nicely sized figure, but it's nothing that's overly large, and you can definitely see that here next to both the Papo-Rex and the Attack Pack Colovosaurus. Again, it's sporting a medium size range at best, I would say, but honestly, it's a pretty darn nice size overall for the figure. And I think Schleich has done a good job on picking the size out, making it kind of like that medium-sized figure, something that's not going to be too large to fit into your collection, but not too small that it doesn't look impressive. This Kaprosuchus is a pleasant surprise, if you ask me. It's a really beautiful-looking figure, and it's not often that we get a Kaprosuchus figure from anyone. I think we've had one from Safari Ltd. At one time. We also had one from Papo, but I can't really remember too many others, so it is always fun to get another from another company, and I think Schleich has actually done a pretty darn good job overall on this figure. It's kind of strange how Schleich will release like some really ugly figures at times, but then some really beautiful figures at other times, and this, in my opinion, is definitely one of the beautiful figures. I think that the entire thing, sculpt-wise, is gorgeous. There's a lot of detail included, and that's one thing that Schleich never skimps out on as far as their figures go, is minute detailing. They always do an incredible job. Even if the figure's ugly, I'm almost certain that you're going to get a really highly detailed sculpt out of the figure, even if it doesn't look good. But with this Kaprosuchus, I honestly think it's a great sculpt, really nicely detailed. I like the fact that the tail's actually up off the ground a little bit as well. It just kind of looks like it's walking along, sporting just an incredibly beautiful appearance to the positioning of the body. It doesn't look like it's in any type of a dramatic pose or anything, just kind of walking along, maybe heading back to the water or something. The coloration as well is something that I feel like could 100% be a natural coloration for a Kaprosuchus. All the tones of color used are beautifully done and beautifully applied to the figure. Really nice natural looking paint application with quite a few different variations and tones of brown and black and everything used on the figure, even including some yellows in certain spots. And then it's all wonderfully brought together with a nice dark wash. The inside of the mouth and everything like that also looks quite nice, even with the big bulky Schleich teeth. It still manages to look pretty darn good. So if you would like to pick this figure up, I will include a link in the description to everythingdinosaur.com, where you can head on over there right now and pick it up for yourself. So make sure you check the description, go buy this beautiful Schleich Kaprosuchus, and make sure you also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.